Well, hello fishing friends, and if you're new here, welcome. So today I thought I would go back to Korea and revisit some of the fish that have changed. So previously, if you've watched some of my videos, you've noticed that back in Korea on catching the epics, a lot of times if the fish was on the bottom, I would cast out and reel across the top as fast as I could and it would still bite. Well, they've changed that, and with the I think it was around the update when they had the S levels for US West. I think when those started, they fixed that to where now you actually have to fish the depth that the fish is on in order to catch it. They're not going to swim all the way from the bottom to the top in order to bite your line. So I thought I would revisit some of these fish that are on the bottom and one fish that's in the middle and kind of go over how to catch those. And it's going to be the same technique for the bottom dwelling fish. We're going to be using the soft bait. We're going to be casting over the top of bubbles and just letting it drop right at the bubbles until it hits the bottom, or until it almost hits the bottom. Right at the very bottom, you'll see your line turn red. And then for the middle fish, we're going to be doing around the clock, and we're also going to be using soft bait. We're going to cast out there. We're going to bring it in, and we're going to do a 5 count. And then we're going to let it drop to a 6 count. And then we're going to reel it in another 5 count, drop it to a 6 count. And that's going to get it to the mid-level so that we can try to get that middle fish. So let's go ahead and head out to location 1, and I'll show you how this technique works. Okay, so here we are on location 1. Pull up the Fishopedia here. We got the South Torrent Catfish. And this one is a bottom fish. And the lure is soft bait. There are a few other fish out here that do like the soft bait. There's not a whole lot. The skin carp, you're going to catch a few of those. You're going to catch a few of these days, the carp. And yeah, mandarin fish. The rest of them are either going to be on the top or we got a minnow. I rarely catch the minnow though when I'm doing this technique for some reason. I would think that I'd catch a lot more. But yeah, so they only like the soft bait, so you're going to be able to, you're going to catch a few other fish in the process. But so far this has been the easiest way that I've found to catch these fish. Alright, so let's see if I see any bubbles out there. Usually when I talk for a bit I don't see any bubbles, and I got to do a refresh right away. So I don't see anything out there, so I'm just going to go ahead and do a refresh. To do a refresh, you just switch from hard and back to expert, and that will refresh your fish. You'll get 15 new fish out there. You can see the swirls start to pop up. Shortly after the swirls, you'll see some bubbles. There's a bubble there, bubble over there, bubble back there. Now, I have yet to notice a size difference in bubbles. There are size differences in swirls, but on bubbles, I've never really noticed any sort of a size difference. So there was some way out there. I'm going to let it drop down to the bottom just to see if it gets anything out there. Nope. So I'm going to go ahead and reel it in. I'm going to try to get it up to where these bubbles are at over here. About there. I'm going to let it drop down. And there we go. I got something down there. And it ran on me. I'm just going to let it go. Let's see. Any more bubbles out here? Yep, there's some bubbles straight ahead. A little bit over there. Oh, that wasn't too far off. Bring it up to it. Let it drop down in there. You see it started to turn red right at the very top. So that is not going to be it. Well, it's probably going to swim on me. That's probably going to be a medium-sized fish. Yeah, it didn't get down to that bottom fish. I'll go ahead and bring this in anyways. And then I'll cast back out to where I was at. This fish was towards the top, so it didn't get down there to the bubbles. Sometimes I've had this happen where I've cast it out and it's lost interest by the time it got down to the bottom, and then the bottom fish ended up being the epic. So, alright, so I'm there at the bubbles. I'm going to let it drop, and we'll see if it turns red at the bottom. And it did. Alright, so we'll go ahead and let that go for a second. That was a very small splash. That's a good sign. And it's not swimming on me. Another good sign. Now there's a few other fish that are out here that are pretty small that aren't the epic, but in this case, the South Torrent Catfish, we caught the epic. Alright, we'll go ahead and keep that guy. And let's go ahead and head to the next location. Location 3. Location 2 is a top fish, and he is going to be, you know, you'll just cast out, you'll reel fast across the top and catch that guy, just like I had in my previous video. So only ones we're going to focus on is 1, 3, 4, and 5 today. Those are the ones that are on the bottom, and they've changed on the bottom or in the middle. Alright, so let's bring up our Fishopedia here. This guy is the one that's in the middle. So the ones we're doing today, we have 3 that are on the bottom and 1 in the middle. This is the one that's in the middle. Now with this one, we're going to be using the soft bait again. All of these like the soft bait. It's pretty much the only lure that they like, and they don't like any live baits. You know, if you might be just out fishing around and still catch them, I'm using live bait, but for the most part, if you want to hunt these guys, you're going to want to use the bait that they prefer. All right, now we're not going to be looking for any swirls or any bubbles. What we're going to be doing is just doing what's called fishing around the clock. You know, so you start over here, and you just go here, and you go here, and you go here, and you go here, and you go here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cast out. Let me bring up my fish finder here for you. Bring it on hard, and I'm going to kind of show you what we're going to be doing. So I'm going to cast out as far as I can, which will be about 300 feet. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to reel it into a count of 5. When I reel it into a count of 5, that's going to put it around this line here. I'm going to let it drop down to a count of 6. The reason I'm counting down to 6 is between 10 to 12 is when it hits the bottom. So 6 is going to be about midway down. So usually around 5 or 6, that's when they're going to hit. So I'm going to count down to 6. That'll get me just past 5, and it won't hit the bottom, so I'm not going to get the bottom fish. And then if I don't get any red line then, I'm going to go ahead and reel it in another 5. That'll get me here. If I don't get it then, I'll reel it in another 5, and that'll get me here. And if I don't get it again, I'm just going to go ahead and quick retrieve it. I'm not going to care about these fish down here. We're trying to hit this sweet spot right here. That's where we're trying to aim for. All right. Let me go ahead and switch back over here to Expert. Pick up my rod here. And I'm just going to start over here. I'm going to cast out as far as I can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to let it drop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't want that red line there because that's a top fish. You can go over a little bit more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let it drop to a count of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nothing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's that red line again. I don't want that top fish. So let me just go over here a little bit farther. In fact, you know what? This pole that I have here, I think it only goes out to about 250 feet. Yeah, let me go ahead. Yeah, because it's a spinning rod and reel. Let me go ahead and switch my pole to casting. There we go. That's going to get me to my 300 feet. I guess it doesn't really matter. I can go 250 and just, because that way I don't have to. Oh wait, that was rod C, wasn't it? Or reel C, yeah. There we go. That's a little better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just going to let it drop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But I don't want that red line because I was on top. Let it drop. Man, we keep getting that red line on top. I don't want the red line. That's top fish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to let it drop. Oh, these top fish don't want the fish on top. Try to get it past them. Man. Alright, this is ridiculous here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to be the front. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gonna let it drop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gonna let it drop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let it drop. Alright, nothing there. I'm gonna go ahead and go a little bit farther out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's gonna be about 250. There we go. That one might be it. That was in the middle, mid-depth. Small splash. And of course, you know, it might have been over there as well. But it was just those topwater fish were grabbing the line too quickly. And there we go. Huinsumaja, however you say that. Alright, we'll go ahead and keep that guy. And let's go ahead and head off to the next level. Location 4. Alright, so here we are on location 4. Let's bring up our Fishopedia here. And this is the Trident Goby. Again, he's on the bottom. And he likes soft bait and spinner. However, we're going to go ahead and just stick with the soft bait, since it's already on there. So I got some bubbles there, there, and there. Go ahead and cast out, bring it up to those bubbles, and let it drop. Hopefully it'll drop down past that top fish that just turned it red. And we'll go ahead and bring that in. That might be it, actually. Let's see if it swims away. Might be a goldfish too. There's goldfish out here. Yeah. It's that perch. There we go, got a red line on the bottom. Small splash, that's a good sign. I did see some bubbles over here to the left, just in case. It's not swimming around, so that's another good sign. Of course, it could be a goldfish too. Oh, but in this case, we got the Trident Goby. Hey, look at that, I got my personal best. Alright, let's go ahead and keep that guy and head off to the next one. Alright, and here we are on location 5. This will be the last location that we need to do. This one is the Kkuguri, I guess. Again, we're using the soft bait. We're going to be targeting bubbles for the bottom depth. And we're going to be using the same technique. We're just going to target over the top of the bubbles and let it drop. Going to let it hit the bottom or really close to the bottom. That was about midway down. So yeah, so that's not it. Ooh. This is a bubble here though. There we go, right at the very bottom. Tiny splash, that's what we want to see. And we'll bring this guy in. And there we go. The Kkuguri, however you say it. Alrighty, well there you go. Go ahead and keep that guy. Well, there you have it. So now we went back and revisited South Korea and caught those bottom-dwelling freshwater fish. So hopefully this helped you, and if it did, make sure you give me a thumbs up on this video. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. It helps me a lot, and it helps you too. So that way you can come back and see more tips and tricks like this in the future. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.